Alright, hello, this is Jeff Scott again. I'm coming now with the next part of this. I did go back and rekeyed everything in. Don't know what it didn't like, but now it appears to be working. The only thing I can think of is what they had said in the book when they told you to go and connect the button. They told you to go from the controller and the dot there and then move over the button. I did it the other way. I did it the way we've been doing it. In other words, I control drag from here into here. And it seemed to work when I did that. If there's anything else that you're supposed to do, I'm not sure what it would be. So, all right. I'm up to the next section then, which starts on the bottom of page 228. And that is implementing the 226. That's implementing the multi-component picker. Again, that's the one, as I mentioned before, where we've got a list of sandwich fillings on the left and a list of bread types on the right. So we'll write the same data source and delegate methods we did for the single component picker. We just need to write some additional code to make sure, as it says, that we're returning the correct row count, etc. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do here, and we'll see how this works, is to possibly go in and use some of the code that I had put in before. So I want to go over here to double. And as always, I'll start by removing the label because I don't need that. So now we can come in and click on the double component. And again, as we did before, we're going to put in here, hit enter, and put in UI picker view delegate, UI picker view data source. And I already know from before that it's not going to like that. All right, until I put that code in later. So I'm on the that's what I needed to put in from the bottom of 226. So turning to 227, as it says there, we're supposed to select the double scene in the document outline and click its view controller. So let's get back into the main storyboard. There it is. Okay, there we are with the number 2, so that's our double scene. Now add a picker view and a button to the view. All right, you know the routine, so to speak, because we've done this before. So so let's add the picker view up here. As we did before, we'll try to get it right up snug against the top. And put our button underneath that. Okay, let's come back and do what we've been doing here. So we'll come over to here, click Align, Horizontal, Center, and Container, add our constraint. All right, go over to Pin, set this to 0, put in our constraint, make sure that's 0. Change the update frames from none to items of new constraints. Add our constraint. That should fix that one. Now, I don't know where that button came from, but I don't want it there. Click on this button. Control click up as we did before. Choose vertical spacing. We did that before we had a problem, so let's make sure that that worked. All right, come down here and resolve our layout issues. Interesting. Oh, we were supposed to center that vertically also, or horizontal center in container. We want it to go there, so now when we come back and we update our frames, there it is. Okay, so that one's done. Says we're not going to walk you through it this time, but you can refer to the previous section if you need a step-by-step guide. Here's a summary of what you need to do. Create an outlet called double picker in the class extension of the double picker view controller. All right. Close this for now. And close a few other things. I'm trying to give myself some room here. Okay. So there's my double right there. Okay. All right. Wondering if this would be easier. Right, move that over here. So, all right. So we need an outlet called double picker. So right there, we want to control drag down to here. It'll be an outlet. It'll be double picker. And connect. And there's that one. And I'm going to try to move this over a little bit and then move this over too. So, oops. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So we've done that. Connect the data source and the delegate connections on the picker using the connections inspector. Connect the touch-up event. So I'm going to come here, hit enter a couple times here. That will again be an action. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is, for lack of better words, I guess. This is kind of cheating, but I'm just going to grab the code from the other one that I've already got done. If I can find it. First of all, I don't want that running anymore. So these are the variables. So let's grab those first. And copy, jump back into our code, and then let's paste those in. Okay. That's all the stuff that you see on page 227 in the book. And I'm going to jump back again. And in my button pressed, again, I'm just copying the code. This is very similar to the stuff that we did before, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So hopefully you understand that. Am I cheating? I guess so. And all I've got left then will be the mark at the bottom. Let's see if I've got any mistakes in here now. So we'll save, run it again. Then I'm going to go back over the code that I just put in here. Or if you want to say it that way, the code I just ripped off here. Build failed. That's never a good thing. Well, it's something in double. There we go. Spelled picker wrong. Let's try running it again. Build succeeded. Hopefully this is going to come up in a matter of seconds. And then what I'll be concentrating on is what's different between this one and the one that we did previously. Okay? Don't know why I keep getting these problems, but I do. Hopefully it's going to come up now. Golly, don't know what the problem here is. All right, make sure we haven't broken anything. There's our date and time. There's a member of the family. Well, that's not a good start, is it? Might know what that is, but let's check. It's my own fault. Oh, I know what it is. I never hooked up the... Yeah, that's on me. Okay. Double. So that means storyboard. double. I did not link up from on here. I did not link up the picker with the view controller. So double. There that is. All right, so I've got to come back to here. And I've got to go from my view controller, click down into here, let go, and choose view controllers for my relationship segue. I don't think I did that before. So let's save and try to run it one last time. The advantage of not copying the stuff in like I did, as opposed to copying the stuff in, is not copying the stuff in. You saw, hopefully, by copying it in, I just skipped a step, which isn't not a good thing. So I'd like to finish this, go back over pages 227, 228, and 229, which is on implementing this double controller. And I'm going to take a break and come back and do the dependent and the custom. All right, not broken, not broken. I've got two here, that isn't good. Oh, brother. Okay, I'm just going to stop right here, fix this, come back, and show you what I've done. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Golly. All right, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this from the top again. And you can see the only thing that I've got in here now, all right, let me bring up the assistant editor. Oh, not the assistant editor, I'm sorry. I want to bring up the storyboard, and I want to bring up the double. It looks like I've got two of these. I don't even know how that even would have happened. Here's my double. Okay, I'm taking it from the top here. Alright, so after setting up the IB outlet weak var double picker UI picker view. I'm going to manually type in all this stuff. Private let filling component equals 0. Private let bread component equal 1, which means that on the left, because I'm going to have the two columns, on the left column it'll be the sandwich fixings and on the right will be the bread. Private let filling types equals, I'm going to have an array here, ham, turkey, peanut butter, tuna salad, chicken salad, roast beef, and Vegemite. I don't know if that's a thing to Lucille Ball on that thing that she did a long time ago or not. Private let bread types equal yet another array here. White, whole wheat, rye, sourdough, seven grain. Okay, so that should be done. That's all the stuff that they showed down towards the bottom of page 227. It says, as you can see, you started out by defining two constants that will represent the indices of the two components, which is just to make the code easier to read. Picker components are referred to by number, with the leftmost component being assigned 0 and increasing by 1. Next, we declare two arrays to hold the two picker components. Now we implement the button pressed. Again, I'm trying to do this and trying to key in all of the information myself. Okay, so that's setting up the first row, second row, and that's filling up the arrays, and that's grabbing the associated information. As far as I can tell so far, at least, I think it's okay. Now, what's wrong here? Executive statements must be separated. Do not want that there. See if we can fix that in just a second. Filling on red up. All right. Then they say add the delegate and source methods at the bottom of the class. Something's goofed up here. Action. Hopefully that fixed it. Yep. You hit enter a few times and open up some space here. Here's the key component right here. Notice the number of components in a row. We're saying return 2, whereas previously we just said return 1. right. Now it says here, I'm turning up to page 229, the button press method is a little more involved in this time, but there's very little that we haven't already gone over. So here it is, lines 27 through about 47. We need to specify which component we are talking about when we request the selected row using those constants we defined earlier. In other words, bread component and filling component. Using the two constants rather than 0 and 1 makes the code more readable. From that point on, after those two lines, pretty much of the code is very similar to the last one we wrote. When you get down to the data source methods, that's where the things change a little bit. Alright, so let's get down to those. In this first method, where you can see the cursor resting right now, we specify that our picker should have two components rather than one. So we're returning 2. This time, when we're asked for the number of rows, we need to check which component picker we are asking about. Alright, right here. Because it's not mandatory that the types of values that the stuff we're putting on the sandwiches and the breads will be the same. One might have more than the other ones. Alright. Next we come in and we do our delegate method here, where we do the same thing that we did earlier. We check the component and use the correct array for the requested component to fetch and return the correct value. Alright, so I'm going to save this. I have no idea whether or not it's going to work or be any better than it was before, but I'm trying it anyway. The author says here on the bottom of page 229, that wasn't so hard, was it? Compile and run your app, make sure the double content pane looks like it does in figure 7.4. And my hope is that it will, and that I didn't screw it up too badly with whatever I did before. So I had two number 2s in there. I have no idea how I got that. Notice that the wheels are completely independent of one another. Turning one has no effect on the other. That's appropriate in this case, but there are times when one component will be dependent on the other. And one of the examples of that will be in just a minute when we look at the dependent components, when we look at the one for the arrays for the, there still are 2 here, doggone it. This is goofed up. Custom. That says dependent and it says custom. I don't understand. Well, so this is just host. I don't know what the heck the problem is. This is now all working. So what I'm going to do is totally just get rid of everything I've done and redo it again. So I don't know what the heck the problem is. So. Again, I don't know why I've got 2 of these in here. The date's okay. The one component is okay. The 2, as you can see, is goofed up. And somehow this got goofed up too, so I'm going to try to fix that. So I'll be back once I get it fixed.